Alright, I wanted to talk about composting and trying to have no waste. Now, first off, you look at our compost here, got some red wigglers in there, and we put those in. You'll want to churn your compost pile, maybe a couple times a year. And if you look, it's already turning to dirt. We put ash in here, and anything that's organic. We try to have zero waste. And so if you're recycling all your metal and glass and paper and plastic, and then all you have left is your food waste, a lot goes to our chickens and goats and rabbits, but whatever can't goes in the compost pile. Now if it's hot enough, then you can put meat in here. But we give meat to our dog, or any bones we give to our raven, so that all gets used up. But you don't want to have only food waste, or it turns kind of into a pile of muck. So you want to use some yard debris. Sometimes we'll put some of the chicken straw from the chicken coop in here. If you're utilizing gardens, at a certain point you also need to be making soil. So in addition to rotating our crops and working with the soil we have in the grow beds, we do the compost to create more soil. Now you can make your compost too hot. Some people have had the compost steaming in the winter, or even lighting on fire. So there's some things to know. In this compost pile, we didn't use it this year, so next spring will be 2 years worth of compost. And I'm thinking that will be plenty of dirt. If you garden, eventually you're going to need to create some more soil. I found that soil from Home Depot or something kills plants, actually. And the best thing, besides rotating your crops and remediating the soil you have, is to compost. When you have a compost pile, if you take care of it, there's no smell, there's no bugs. If you put a fence around it, you won't have a problem with animals like your dog or whatever getting into it. You don't want to put the dog poop in the compost pile, though. It's a little too hot. But you can see when we're getting down that we're getting into some dirt here. So we could use that right now. And if you look, this is starting to be just straight up dirt. Well, that wasn't dirt, that was a compost pile, so there you go, compost in action. The other thing I'm seeing is lots of bugs, and I'm just trying to churn some of this organic matter that hasn't decomposed, churn that into the ground, and then try and get some of this dirt on top of it so we can keep things moving for the spring gardens. But you can even put your hair and fingernails and things like that in there. Pretty much any organic material. Put things like onions, because onions aren't good for chickens. Apple cores, because the apple seeds aren't good for chickens. We probably don't want a piece of baling twine in there. We'll take that out. But we put in our eggshells too. I mean, we have a lot of eggs, so sometimes we put some of the eggshells in the compost pile. Otherwise, we grind the eggshells into a powder and give them to the chickens so they get calcium, kind of like oyster shell. But the thing that's neat about compost is, you know, it's just another sort of cog in the machinery of your gardening here. But I won't bore you with watching me complete this project. But there's a little information on composting. One thing I have found, have an airtight container in your house, and that's what you'll put like your daily food waste in. I've seen a lot of people try to do a compost pile, and they put their compost pile like conveniently right outside their door. That's a lazy, bad idea, because then you have this big pile of muck right there, and it's not very attractive. You might get like some fruit flies and things. But if you're having a problem with bugs in your compost pile, you can just put some dirt or something over top of it, and that'll sort of seal it in and let the composting will still happen, but you won't have bugs like fruit flies. Hopefully just a bunch of worms and other bugs. So there you go. Get busy, make a compost pile. Don't put it right outside your door. Have fun.